Hello, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers. I'm not going to come in as hot as I did yesterday, but before we get to today's episode, I still am not quite over yesterday's episode. I still am very annoyed that the writing has made both characters of Kat and Eva look very dumb and very pathetic, and I still contend it's very bad for their young characters on the show and some of the show's best actors. The actresses that play Kat and Eva are two of the show's best actresses and actors, for that matter, on the damn show. And to continue to put them in scenes with furniture, the furniture that is Tomas, just emotionless while they're acting their asses off, it really still bothers me every time I think about yesterday's episode. And Colby Muhammad, who plays Kat, posted something from when she first read that script. And even she wants her character to leave Tomas.
Girl, let him go.
Because I'm sure she knows her character is looking really pathetic after all of this. Some of your comments yesterday was that, Eva, just like I said, Eva is in Kat's head, living rent-free. That Kat is also in Eva's head. And when it comes to Tomas, I do agree. But the character of Kat has been obsessed with Eva since day one. With every character, she's always been bringing up Eva for months now. And I need the character of Kat to stop being such a one-note obsessive character. They've got to do better with the writing for Kat. And now Eva too, apparently. They don't know where they want to take Eva. It's been very clear with her 180s over the past month. Let's move on to today's episode. Today's episode was fine, I suppose. Let's start with the positives. I like that they addressed Dani's drinking problem, that Anita finally addressed it. I don't know about comparing it to Doug, who just died in a car accident. It seems like it takes away from Dani's problem of marrying Andre in Vegas drunk. It's like, it's two very night and day drinking problems. Okay, someone was allegedly drinking and driving and died, and Dani and Andre just went to Vegas and got married, which many people do all the time. So the comparison was a bit much, but it's very much the Duprees. Let's make this issue about ourselves. I'm glad that Anita did bring up Dani's drinking problem, but I'm also glad that Dani brought up the fact that Andre is actually maybe more good for her than bad, because he is the one months ago when she was drinking even more heavy that got her to kind of calm that down. But we all know that Dani really does have a drinking problem. Now, on the other side of things, Bill at first in this episode was talking to Joey, and I'm already getting sick of all of these characters acting like they're gonna figure something out with Joey. I feel like we're getting a bunch of fake outs for the past week now, where so-and-so will be like, I know you had something to do with it. Today, you're responsible for my dad's death. Bill asking all these questions to Grandpa Gangster if he is the one that killed Doug. And I think Bill has the right to ask these questions, and I'm glad that Bill stayed on his ass. And I think that Bill still deep down knows Joey might have had something to do with Doug's death. And I don't know if it's guilt from Bill, because he is the one that warned Joey regarding Doug coming to him with all this information and all the questions. I would like to think that, we have an added layer to the character of Bill, that he's not a total psychopath like the Joeys on this show. But I am glad that Bill did stay on Joey, figuring out that Joey gave himself an alibi. And now that Doug is gone, there's no one in his way from having Vanessa, no obstacles in his way. So I did like the Bill and Joey scenes because of Bill at least staying on Joey's ass. Now we'll get back to Joey, but then we have Hayley, who wants to know why Caroline is finding out information on Dani's marriage and bringing up her marriage certificate because Bill wants it. We know that Hayley is always obsessed with Bill's obsession with Dani, and that it's getting worse. Right when Hayley thought that her bad schemes to fake a pregnancy and have a fake miscarriage were working, something happened to Chelsea, and now Bill and Dani are getting close again, and Hayley just can't stand it. She's asking Caroline today if Bill fell in love with Dani again, if Bill can love two women at the same time. Bill comes to the office and learns that the marriage is legal. There's no prenup, no annulment. And Hayley wants to know why Bill wants all this information. She calls him out that Bill can't stand the fact that Dani is remarried and isn't pining after him anymore. Bill's excuse is that it's for financial reasons, that, his and Dani's daughters can come into a lot of money, and now Andre can come into that too because there's no prenup. Hayley wasn't having it, and I'm glad she wasn't having it. I liked the fire in Hayley today, and I thought from day one that Hayley needed this kind of fire. So good for her. Then Dani comes to the office and says things between them are threatening to wreck both of their marriages, and they want to come up with an idea to be able to stay away from each other. They start to insult one another, hoping that will work. But then Bill kisses Dani, and I'm all for that. I've said many a times, especially lately, that I enjoy the chemistry between Bill and Dani because this show is so very chemistryless with all of their couples. So that was good. But if this turns out to be a fantasy or a dream sequence of Bill or Dani's, I'm going to be very annoyed tomorrow. You're going to get annoyed Nick back ranting about the episode because this show does like their little fantasy, their little fake outs, and it's unnecessary. So it will piss me off if this is a fantasy. If it's not, we'll see what the fallout will be. Will this just help Bill get over Dani more? Because Bill will think, well, he can't still have Dani pining after him. I don't know, but I hope we get a good fallout and that it's not a fake out fantasy, because that will definitely annoy me with the writing on a show that has been annoying me with the writing this week. Back to Joey and Vanessa. We did finally meet Vanessa and Doug's son. We have yet to meet his twin sister. Donnell McBride showed up today to first talk to Shanice about his father, because the office is being re-signed to someone else, or already has. And Donnell learns for the first time that Doug quit months ago. And he thanks Shanice for being honest with him, because apparently Vanessa won't be honest with him. Now, first off, if we were already going to see Donnell, I don't really understand why we couldn't see him before Doug died. I was saying that for a couple of weeks before Doug died. Why aren't we seeing the twins? Why can't we make Doug's death more important? Especially if we were just going to see Donnell anyway. They could have given us Donnell before they killed off Doug. I still contend it was a mistake. And it's the little things that this show does that really annoys me. This show it has its things that can be so good about it, but the little things with the writing, and now some of the big things with the writing where Tomas is concerned, it can irk me over time. But I'm glad at least Donnell is on the show. I suppose he did find out more information from Vanessa that Doug became a gambling addict and drinking a lot, so he went to the casino to see where his father was drinking last before he died. Ran into Randy, Doug's old pal. And then also by the end of the episode confronts Joey, saying that he's responsible for his father's death. So I guess Donnell is supposed to be the new obstacle for Vanessa and Joey, but I still, like I said yesterday, don't know what I'm supposed to feel from this storyline, because Vanessa and Joey are not a rootable couple to be together, and I don't enjoy Grandpa Gangster and Vanessa's love scenes. I agree with Hemi in the comments a lot. And while I do think Joey and Vanessa have chemistry, the direction this has taken has made not only Joey and Vanessa being together pretty unrootable for me, but both of them unrootable individually. So I don't know exactly what Donnell could bring to the story other than threatening Joey. Will he eventually find out about their affair? I don't know, but I'm going to need them to do something to make me care again about this story. For a while there, it was one of the more intriguing stories, but unfortunately killing off Doug kind of kills off anything likable about the story. And it's also like someone said in the comments yesterday. Sorry to keep harping on the bad love triangle with Kat, Eva, and Tomas, but I just can't stop. I don't understand why they haven't recasted Tomas. At least do that. They recasted first Ted for whatever reason we still don't know, but Tomas has every reason to be recast, and they just won't do it. But somebody in the comments yesterday, I wish I could remember who, I don't have it pulled up right now, said that nobody in that love triangle is rootable, and it's true. That's why the love triangle sucks. On a soap opera, you have a love triangle because at least one side of the love triangle has to be rootable because you're rooting for them to get together. Here, neither side are rootable, and I feel like that's every love triangle on this show almost. Derek and Ashley, who cares? Ashley and Andre, who cares? I guess you can say at least Andre and Dani have a thing. But I kind of feel that way about Vanessa and Joey too. Like, what are we supposed to get from this storyline going forward? What is the rootable element going forward? This show struggles with their couples. It's definitely one of their biggest struggles by far. That was the main stuff. We do still have Derek lying about filling in his legs. Very redundant, you know. Shanice still carrying those scenes. I did like Shanice's line asking what he really expects from walking at his wedding. Is he just going to say, praise Jesus, I can walk again? That was a good line. I still want Shanice to have bigger storylines ahead. Why are we anchoring her in this Derek and Ashley mess? Nothing really moved in today's story. Derek is just still lying about no breakthrough without feeling in his legs so he can try and keep a hold on Ashley. And I am still struggling to care about that. So while today was a better show than yesterday, I enjoy the Dani and Bill stuff most, but I'm really hoping that we see a fallout from that tomorrow and then it's not just a fantasy, because it really felt like it could be a fantasy too. And I guess the show will just piss me off again if that's the case. I guess I got to come in ranting again tomorrow if that's the case, but here's hoping I don't have to.